Welcome back to the action here at Tom's Tourney, if of course you've been joining us for the rest of today so far. If you haven't, welcome friends. It's been quite the day. Interesting weather conditions, but we are currently enjoying, Stefan, dare I say it, the sun is emerging for the clouds.
The sun is emerging. There is no precipitation falling from the sky at this moment. And
I can feel my toes, Steph.
Yeah, I had said it about 15 minutes ago. I was like, but it's not raining right now. And then I felt a drop immediately thereafter. But right now, it is legitimately not raining. And that in itself is exceptionally exciting news. Almost as exciting as the game we've got in front of us between Cotarica and Tchac, Hanny. This one is set to be a good one. Both, of course, putting this one on the line for the EUCS ranking points. This game will count. And if we went by the ranking prediction, this one would go to Tchac at a score of 10 to 15. So let's see if the computer knows all.
Oh, the almighty algorithms. We're subject to so many algorithms in our lives, but it's a fun time, this new EUCS qualifying series system. And of course, I'm really excited just to watch these two teams play. It's not raining literally, but it is raining high-level ultimate athletes out here on the pitch. It's going to be a game of staying on one's feet. We saw some slippery business throughout the course of this morning with the inclement conditions. You can see on our camera streams there is a lot of churned up pitch in front of us. It's like someone's taken a golf club and just sort of created lots of divots, but it's not that sport that's been doing the damage to the pitch underfoot. It is just the hard cutting surfaces. So I have a feeling, Steph, teams that decide to play split stack later on in this tournament and have as few people running through that central section, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, but I almost think that is playing central stack is better than standing in the messed up section and cutting to the outside where it's still green. Anyhow, playing the field, working the field so that you are cutting at your fastest parts on the piece of the field that has traction remaining.
It's about where you can look. If you're stood in the middle of the quagmire, you can't easily identify the spaces to make your cut to run to that look less dark mud than other sections. That was my thinking, but we'll see what these teams come out with. We've seen a variety of horizontal, vertical stack, split stack, kind of set plays. It's been a little bit of everything so far in this tournament, but you know what it's been, Steph? It's a great time.
It is indeed, always in Bruges. Always at Tom's Tourney. They've always got something new. It's their 30th anniversary this year. 30th year, like edition. So even with the COVID years off, it would have been 32 years ago, the very first version of Tom's 30 years. And they've got something new every year. This year, Hannah, they've installed a cocktail bar.
Indeed, with the Basil Smash.
Basil Smash. Get them here.
It just makes me think of, so anyone that's a British individual will understand this. A certain character from children's TV in the 70s called Basil Brush was a fox that used to go boom, boom. But we'll see if there's going to be any boom coming out of these two teams. We expect so, but it's going to be Tchac to start, Benvenien in the centre pitch deciding which option to throw to. Habitat through to Prazo, who just about scoops. A little bit of a push off the mark from Benvenien. Lots of talent on this Tchac side. Potential to make it all the way through to the late bracket stages. Just shy. Vincent Habitat pops through, and it's Le Lièvre with the goal.
Yeah, this O-line reeks of talent on Tchac. I said it earlier this season. It's easy to say right now. They're the top of the rankings right now. The best ranked team. Of course, there's a lot of ultimate to be played. There's a lot of teams that haven't even had ranking games count yet. That said, Tchac, picking up Simon Ruel, Enzo Forget, a couple of the Blois fellas, really bolstering their lineup. They had, at Spring Invite, they even had Stanguinek. I don't know how much they're using that. I was not expecting to see Bosser still playing. Lapagnol is still here. This team has got depth right now. And I see them as a real threat to make a semifinal. You know, of course, those teams at the top are very, very good. They're going to have to knock off Germany Open or Clapham or Mooncatchers or La Fota. But Is it possible? Sure, it's possible.
Oh yeah, it's well within the realms of possibility. So why are you surprised to see these players still on the Tchac roster? Why would they leave? Are they old men?
They're kind of getting on a little bit. I mean, and they have taken seasons off recently as well. So like they've taken a season off and come back, or half season off, or they just play the French season but not the international season. So I guess I'm not surprised, but I mean, I think it for them it's very nice to be able to keep that veteran savvy while they bleed in a bunch of youngsters. Speaking of youngsters, Cotarica too, but we'll talk about them in a bit.
Indeed, Eduardo Fabri currently surveying the field. There's a nice poach in the lane from Axel Roger, trying to apply that pressure. Paradisi takes that lateral move. Now Valentini. Of course, we saw lots of very talented youngsters coming through back in Padova. EYUC 2023, absolute devastating performance from the Italian Open side in the juniors program. And some of these names are very familiar. This is nice now, really good movement. Tucci. And a big sail to the back corner. What beautiful placement. Luca Valentini just like a stallion on an open plane towards that back cone.
Yeah, you talk about the up-and-coming talent and the established talent in Rimini, a community in the Frisbee program that is really chomping and churning to try and clip out Bologna. Bologna is still, yes, the class of the Italian elite divisions, but Rimini has been on the up and up, and you talk about those junior programs, and that is where a lot of these names come in. Luca Valentini, one of the, I guess, more veteran players on a team like this, still a young man, but he's been around. He gives a lot of leadership to this O-line, and there he shows his blazing speed. We saw these guys at Spring Invite last week. They had some really great games on stream where their fast-paced kind of tiki-taki style offense really can put opposition on skates and get them looking the wrong way. That way, I don't know how great their adaptability is.
So the French now coming back out and again on offense. This is very tight person coverage. Oh, and a swipe D from behind, the sneaking arm. I think that's Soldati just managing to get himself up in the mix of that little paw just backwards at the side of his eye. So now things slowing down a little bit for Cotarica. That one, oh, nearly too grandes to make it, but just big enough to bounce off. Always looking for the disc, and it's going to be a stall out call. Looks to be accepted.
Tough ones to accept always. Santorini was doing a lot of spinning around there before he could spit it out, and still to no avail as Ben Vignen goes the other way.
So Corti, this Tchac O-line again coming under acres of pressure. That's a really beautiful throw, full stretch, pitch length huck, and taken in stride. Great read from Sullivan Robles.
Yeah, Robles got blazing speed. He was, in many people's opinion, the best male matching player for the French side at World Games. He's been on the big leadership member of the French Open team, and for Tchac, he's been doing it time and time again. I mean, you probably get a little bit more used to seeing him behind the disc than going, but he is no stranger. His speed is too good. You cannot keep him in one place, no matter how much he wants the disc, no matter how much his team likes him resetting. You know, you turn your head the wrong way for a half a second, and Robles is going to beat you down the field. And that was good defense, too. Balducci was not too far off, but I think Robles is going to win that foot race more often than not.
Yeah, there was a moment, I think it might have been Soldati who'd played some fantastic defense earlier in the point. The throw was so available to hit Robles in speed, in stride, because of the overcommitment on the bid close to the disc. That kind of trying to put that pressure on, trying to really, and you've got to take your chances. That's what happens. But that was part of the equation that credited that really sensational full stretch effort.
Are there seagulls around? I think I hear some seagulls.
Oh, of course, that is the celebratory noise. And it comes out of this Tchac side, but that's going to be chucked a little too far, too much pressure.
That one too far for Valentini. We talked about his speed just on the last point, and it's gone too far. And as I notice, I see Mathieu Bosser not cleated up for this game. He's in Crocs on the sideline, so not sure if it's for this game or for the tournament, but a little bit of info for you there at home.
Well, maybe he's just coaching and helping out, but Roger looking for that one around. Nice. Chistier. The wind starting to jump up a little bit. That one's going to have to fight against, and a little scuffle move in the middle as the players try and stop the disc on both sides. Well, welcome back the wind. Tchac. Just pops that one up. You can see how difficult the release was on that backhand. But of course, if you're a Rimini player, you're used to the wind because quite a lot of beach in that lovely city.
Is there ever a beautiful beach, and boy oh boy can it get windy, but this time the wind wins the battle. And Gilou will take it the other way.
Inside find. Duno. Seeking options. Roger going for a bit of point and shoot, and almost a fall rather than a layout. But it works. Madio. Lots of pace being put on these handler passes. Le Pagnol looking around. Love that clear and fake. Everyone else pretty static, just using their eyes to initiate each other. Oh, front cone win, but it's going to be a ground strip and an injury call for Vincent Le Pagnol. Hopefully he'll be okay.
It's not Le Pagnol on the ground, but whoever it is, we hope they are okay. It could be is it the 6 on the 61 it is. It's Chentron.
The 6 looked like an 8.
Yeah. Speaking of Le Pagnol, 2 throws earlier, though. He had a beautiful distribution to Axel Roger up the line. A nice super low release backhand. But they are back underway here.
Both teams being relatively conservative, biding their time. High jump for Eduardo Fabri. Oh, nice snag underneath. Picking the hand correctly and absolutely losing it out of bounds. Trying to connect with Samuele Rochello.
Yeah, what a strong hand to hang on to that by Tourney. And a bit too much strength on the release too. Rochello was open and had separation, but with the wind at his back, there was a bit too much spin on that to carry out beyond the back line. This is still for a hold for, well, it was. Now with it back in Tchac's hand, it'll be for a break, but a long 4th point of this game after some efficiency to get things going.
Well, both teams really starting to feel each other out, try and figure out what it is they want to do and how to deny them exactly that. You can see how much these upwind points are going to be a battle if the conditions continue as they currently are, though. Courtine out, looking for the throw and go. And again, nice switch off from Cotarica Grandes to just stifle that movement. Roger now. Not really able to find that around backhand, and it's one lovely layout bid to take that one away. Great read from Tonelli. Now streaking towards the up line, has a think about it, but holsters and takes the easy backhand around. Lovely disc placement. Fantini had to turn a little bit of the jets on, but I think he was only in third gear there, Steph.
Yeah, Tonelli to Fantini. Tonelli got the block and the assist. The ex-La Fota man, he was there when they won their championship back in Caorle. Has since then, if I'm not mistaken, gone back to and played with the hometown and been a Cotarica contributor after winning his chip. And right there, you show what kind of that is the veteran savvy that a young team like this needs. That is a contribution at every level, getting the D, and then look at that, just calm release, nice outstretched pivot, and into the bucket for Fantini. And Cotarica ties things up, a dirty hold, but 2 apiece. And we're into one here. I think a 15-10 outcome is unlikely. What do you think in the chats? And while we're engaging you, why not hit that like button back at home? It's a great game. I mean, what's not to like? Tell me if there's something not to like. If there's something not worth liking, write about it and tell us. But if there's lots to like here, just click that button.
And of course, we have coach extraordinaire Eugenio Festa in the live chat, the man himself.
JJ. Ciao bello.
Well, the way both these teams are playing is very attractive indeed, Stefan. Speaking of bello things. Coty absolutely launching towards the end zone. Oh, and that's going to be finesse for sure. Beautiful disc to Sullivan Roblet. And another full stretch huck.
Another race for Roblet. He just goes the field. The throw comes. And Tchac is doing it with more efficiency. When their O-line's out there, they're scoring a little easier. That said, it doesn't matter how easy they are. A goal is a goal is a goal. However, it does kind of, the legs start to feel it. When the O-line has to work that much harder time and time again, when the O-line's forced to stay on the field for 2 points and 3 points and 4 points, where the Tchac O-line can come on and be this efficient, it's not telling the tale in its entirety, but it's something we're noticing out here. That Tchac is getting on the field, getting the score, and getting back to the sideline to rest while they rotate their D-monkeys out to chase.
D-monkeys indeed. But you're right. If you can do it well, if you can do it fast, it helps. It's not the only part of the winning formula, but it definitely helps.
Luca Contini in the chats, not on the field. That's interesting. We miss his... he's always got the snood style going on. Maybe it's rubbing off on me, Hannah. Luca Contini snood style, because I'm sporting a snood today.
You are indeed.
Which I've only ever ripped upon.
Well, Silvestrini with a very low one, but scooped up like some gelato and immediately dished to the end zone. What a beautiful piece of work from Eduardo Fabri.
If we're talking about scoops and gelato, that was some fine pistachio and a beautiful give and catch and delivery. Fabri, the fabricator of this magic. Look at it again, low, but no problem. I'll scoop that up and put it on my cone. Have one lick of the pistachio and then move over to the vanilla. Fantini finishes it off.
Yeah, we did get to consume a lot of gelato last season in the course of our duties with ULTI.TV. Because, of course, we had so many lovely tournaments that were hosted by the Italian nation. They know how to organise a really fantastic tournament. But it's lovely to get to go to different places. Bruges, of course, Tom's Tourney, this 30th edition. They know what they're doing here.
Oh, yeah, great. Listen, the weather's going to come when you're up in the north of Europe. It's going to happen. When you're up in Belgium, it's going to happen. But Bruges, the city itself, beautiful. The venue here, beautiful. And the people, the hosts, the organization, just incredible. They do such a wonderful job up here.
Some of these releases on the resetting throws for the fourth set of handlers against the Cotarica zone for Tchac. High releases that make things a little bit spicy. So all it takes is for an extra bit of float on a couple of those And things could go very askew, but nice give-go action from Nemo Coty. Now in the hands of Ben Venyen. Oh, I love that soft backhand lefty throw, but that's going to be taken out. Oh, no, it's not. That's boshed into possession. Great adjustment and a goal for Tchac.
Yeah, Brazo kept his toe there nicely on the sideline. I'm going to see this again and see the boshing you speak of there, Hanny, because I'm not sure how that worked itself out. Here's Brazo on the up line, and then I kind of lost sight of it for a second. But is it a Balducci Mac? It is a Balducci Mac on that.
That's what I meant by the bosh. Just boshed it forward. Didn't bosh the player.
Yeah, and you know, we say it a million times. You hate to hear it when it's you, but catch your D's. Very difficult. I think he got as much of his hand on that as humanly possible.
He did try. The effort was there.
Yeah.
There was an attempt. Unfortunately, there was not the correct execution. But if Balducci hadn't gotten there and hadn't tried to make it, it would have been a goal anyway. So the outcome doesn't massively change. It just looks a little bit different.
Yeah, some agreement in the chat. Catch your D's. Next time for Contini. Okay.
Well, puts the fire in you, right? That was an O-line point for Tchac, and it wasn't one that was a single pass goal.
Yeah, they were made to work a bit harder this time, so it's good if you're supporting the Riminese. And if you're doing that, hit the like button. Also, if you're supporting Tchac, hit the like button. We'll be able to distinguish through the algorithm somewhere deep down inside. We'll tell you the results.
Please let us know. If you're still breathing, hit the like button.
That's what we want.
Fantini seeking options. I like when the handlers that are in the negative space, they push forward. They minimize the negative yards being taken on these backwards passes. That one's a nice inside shot, though. Just a silky one to the front cone. And is that Silvestrini with the goal?
I think it's Ruscello for the goal. The big muscle-bound unit from Rimini, a big part of the Italian mixed side that won silver in Limerick last year. And
there's a lot of neck chain stuff going on.
Yeah,
he's got
a lot of neck chain, and he would normally wear like the wraparound sunglasses as well.
Ski goggles.
Yeah, ski goggly style, whatever. I used to call them other things.
Yeah, not suitable for broadcast.
And he's not wearing those, of course, in this weather, but he's still looking the part, scoring the goals. Ruscello, no wonder La Fiata's cheering for Ruscello. I think they've met before.
You could say that.
So, you're right in the chat. Both sides looking smooth. 4-4. What a game.
Well, are we going to see another ruthless offense? Both sides have been turning the screws, but equally to each other, as we see a great bit of composure from Coty. I think there's going to be a marking infraction called there, perhaps a bit of disc space. But no use of hand signal, so we'll just have to guess. Back in play. Double cut towards the deep space. One of them bails out, but the player going for it is the defense. I thought that one was going to be another one to Robles with ease, but no.
Welcome to paradise. Paradisi gets in the way there and really has to throw his body to get in the way. You're right. I saw a 71 shirt streaking behind the defense again. I was like, they're doing it again. They're going to just blast it to Robles, but Paradisi, oh my goodness, gets horizontal, huge play to break it up and to give Cotarica a break chance, full field break chance, but a glorious break chance, one that would give them a lead.
A little moment in my mind as I saw Robles running that one down, Stefan, was a bit like, oh, too easy. But that's the motion, and that is what gave the opportunity, the window for Paradisi. Perhaps Robles thinking, yeah, I got this. But that moment, oh, what a layout block that was!
Corti getting horizontal right on the end zone line. He is really chomping for that. Callahan there didn't get it, but now a goal line opportunity for Tchac.
I can't say I'm even the remotest bit surprised. From the very beginning of this game, Corti has been really got some little jets on his cleats. So lots of poaching from Rimini. Trying to just stifle and sag to stop this flow for Tchac. They're going to go over the top though. Cheeky little air bouncy lefty backhand. And it's Roblet after all.
Yeah, Sully Roblet gets the goal, but that point belonged to Nemo Corti. I mean, between Paradisi and Corti going back and forth, those layout blocks were phenomenal. Great little back and forth battle between the two sides, letting their individuals do the work like that. But in the end, Tchac got the D in much better field position, and were able to convert with it, doing what they do best, putting another goal on in Sullivan Roblet's stat sheet, as he's got 3 on the day out of the 5 that Tchac have scored.
So 5-4, this French team lead. As we get the lovely replays again, that beautiful low release to high ascendance backhand break. It's getting very close to the timed half. These games are being played to a soft cap of maximum points of 15. Half when the first team scores 8 points. But 30 minutes in, you get a timed half, of course. First time we've seen half times at Tom's Tourney by virtue of the EUCS qualification that these two teams will be part of. So, Silvestrini seeking options. There is an opportunity developing, but that one is going to be taken out, and just making sure is the Tchac defense. Bit too hasty.
Yeah, ensuring it gets bounced out the back. I think it was gone no matter what, but why not ensure it? But it is also, it had passed every potential receiver at that stage. You never know. Like that's one of those points. Maybe just doing nothing. If you back that and it does, you know, I think it was safe. But it is almost okay. Just let it go. Just let it go. Because we've seen a max disc go totally astray before.
Absolutely. Well, Chantran did go for it with 2 hands. I think again it was the attempt for the catch block rather than the kind of, you know, potential to mack it onwards. Lots of these Cotarica Grandes defenders, though, fronting their matchups, really just preventing Tchac from getting towards the disc, using the wind to their advantage, knowing that those deeper throws are going to be harder to execute.
Ruscello nearly got a hand on that one.
The effort and energy, Rousseau now, these athletes are putting in to just getting these simple underneath passes, little cheeky inside breaks across the pitch. The lefty opens it up. It's going to be a battle between the two, and a great snatch for Donnelly. It's really ripping that one out, making sure it's Cotarica Grandes who get the disc back. Just again, oh, that's one. Just about opens up. Is it going to be too much though? I think nearly in the football goal. Ruscello trying to run it down, but even he can't make that ground up.
Yeah, just a bit too far. Wind, of course, pushing left to right on your screen. We've done our best to keep you up to date on weather here. It has improved, but it is still windy right now. It is a very manageable wind right now. There's heavy gusts that keep coming and going, but globally speaking, it is turned into manageable weather right now.
Correct. Certainly for the level of both of these teams. Nice find underneath in acres of space. Has it, but a really solid defensive switch off prevents that huck from going. A moment of double team, you might say, but only momentarily. Roger now Back into Ruel, who is going to losh it into the end zone. Oh, that is a really nice displacement. And Nicolas Perret with the break for Tchac. 6-4 now. They will lead.
Yeah, the throw by Ruel probably didn't come out smooth. A little wobble in it, but he put enough arm in it. He's a powerful young man that even if it's not perfect, he knew it was going to get beyond the defense there. And a great score in the end. Nice reset. Ruel had a high stall count just before that. Dumped back about 8 meters to Axel Roger. Gets it straight back. And then again, there is the delivery of the assist. And it seems as though we have a break happening on the field, Hannah.
Yeah, I would gather that Cotarica Grandes have taken a time out.
One team's taking a break.
Well, the other ones haven't noticed because they want to keep the momentum going, of course. But we'll take a brief moment of pause here in the booth. So grab yourself a refreshment. We'll be right back with more after this.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Back in action here, live from Tom's Tourney 2024, or you might be watching this one back if you're enjoying some VOD here on YouTube. We are pleased. It's a pleasure, nay, a privilege to be bringing you wall-to-wall content here from Pitch 3.
Something just happened, Hannah.
Hold on, what happened, Stefan?
I mean, something just happened. Look up in the sky.
Oh, was it that I opened the tent to make it obvious that it's really sunny?
Yeah. I mean, you've also created a wind tunnel, but we can deal with that because the sun is coming in.
I needed to feel the sun, not on my skin because I'm covered in 7 layers of clothing. However, my trackies are getting some sunshine on them, which is making me feel the feelings. But
It's good. My raincoat needs some sun on it too.
yeah, we're trying to dry. I mean, to be fair, it's fantastic conditions for drying laundry. The sun is out and the wind is definitely doing its thing, causing some light issues for the elite level throwers that we have out on this pitch. But Cotarica Grandes having suffered a break, and now, of course, the halftime jingle has gone.
Hammer time.
So the half will be played, I think, to +1 on the current score that will be highest at the end of this particular point, and that one sails out of bounds. The pressure of the elements, this wind gusting, and Tchac flapping their wings, trying to set sail.
The seagulls, they fly. Their call in the air. Mine, mine. Everybody wants a piece for themselves.
Roger looking to get this offense started. Cheeky little pop pass. Was that a push pass, Stefan?
I think it was.
Oof.
A push pass to a nice upline cut there. I think that's Nathan Russ. A big unit of a player providing for Tchac now. Everybody's putting in. Axel Roger, just a class thrower here, waiting. Look at that push pass. Indeed, it was like a wound-up push pass. And sorry, that was not Russ, that was Liron with the goal. But he really kind of like wound. It's almost like a dad push pass. He put it under the elbow and then pushed it forward.
No, it's the thing of, so you can get away with putting a push pass up on this breeze, but you still, if you're just going for the kind of wrist push off the kind of like rolling the disc off of your forefinger, you actually, by scooping up and getting the arm more involved, you're able to put that little bit more loft on it, make it a little bit more of a firm throw than something that just sort of, flobs out your hand a little bit. But I really have a lot of time for a high stall push pass for a goal. Great composure, great attack, and another break on the board for Tchac.
Yeah, it was 4-4 at one point in this game.
And I think, Stefan, if I'm correct, we're still having half at 8 points. But we'll double check with the sideline.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. Because that went off in that point, so it's after this one as that pole goes into the neighbor's yard.
Well, we say after the next point, of course, it would have to be a Tchac score for it to be after the next point.
But no, not after the jingle.
Not after the jingle?
I think after the jingle, it's play one more and...
Ah, okay, so it's not you add one to the current highest tally and play to that as your half time.
I don't believe so. I think you play one more if half hasn't been reached.
We've seen lots of different teams on this show pitch so far, Stefan, and a lot of them have done strange things, but that's a stranger and stranger thing happening to this Cotarica Grandes offense. The overthrow snaffled up. Big sideline from the Italian coaches in front of us. Trying to say they can get this one back. Oh, beautiful, silky lefty backhand up that line. Foul call.
And accepted.
Yep, so Benvenier will keep possession. Looking around. Low release backhand. That nearly corkscrews out and then just ends up in the lap of Robin Dorneau.
Tchac just pouring it on right now. 4 in a row, 4 unanswered. They came into this game as the top-ranked team. Yes, there are some asterisks because not everybody's been put into the ranking yet, but this is a top-class team out there at this stage of the season and has the potential to stay. As you look at that shovel pass into the guts there for Duneau.
Did you see the catch, though, for L'Espagnol? That was absolutely scandalous. He literally just held onto it by the skin of his fingertips.
Yeah,
but
the youngster.
That will be half then, 8-4, because both teams are circling up. We'll take a break here, though, too, in the booth. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will see if Cotarica Grandes can pull themselves back by their bootstraps and get back into this match. Welcome back. Half-time just taken here with extra 8 minutes after the time cap of 30. Of course, these games here at Tom's Tournament, Tom's Tourney, 60 minutes long, maximum points cap of 15, being played with a half-time for the first ever time, because of course this being an EUF approved tournament for the EUCS qualification set. People, they queried it, Stefan, they queried it and they said, why is there not a half-time if it's an EUS tournament? But both these teams, Cotarica Grandes, currently a score deficit of 4 versus their French opponents, Tchac, looking to try and grind their way back into this matchup, because it was very, very close to start with. Oh, that's a beautiful launch, just shy of the goal line. Quick dish back. Paradisi. Now Valentini taking the negative yards against this fierce breeze. Fantini faking the hammer. This is really good shutdown from Tchac, playing red zone defense, solid switching to just slow things down and try and close the jaws. That's a big old hospital pass, proper, and it just ends up bouncing into Luca Valentini's hands. There's going to be a discussion perhaps between some of the players briefly, but resolved quickly, and a little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck, but it was fairly played. I think Paradisi was the biggest man there the whole time. And as much as Ruel came into the situation, they both boxed out against Paradisi, and it was Valentini who basically just played the old Johnny on the spot role, the garbage man, waiting for us to beat the pack. Sat at the back and plucked it out of the sky. They will take it, most certainly. Anyway, they'll get it after a 4-point run. That is one to stop the bleeding and makes it 5-8. But Cotarica, lots of work to do as they pull back to the Tchac line.
And we have seen Tchac be so swift, so ruthless executing their offensive points. But there's still plenty of game left to make those adjustments, and lots of youth on this Cotarica Grande side. And we all know young players like to do the unexpected every so often. So Forget sends one to the open space at the back. It might just be good enough. It is indeed. That is a beautiful shot, and Vincent Habitat underneath it. His habitat truly is the end zone.
Forget about it. Forget puts on a beautiful backhand in this wind. Short, efficient offense. That is the one thing they continue to do. It's what we talked about at the top when it was a close game. We said that, okay, they're just a little fresher out there. We saw the difference it made in that gap in the middle where Cotarica's O-line had to work harder. It cost them some turnovers, cost them some breaks against. And they get their O-line back out there after 4 points on the shelf, and they do it again with a very, very efficient offense. One shot essentially gets it done. They get separation deep, and the throws are on. Their throwers are on in this wind.
And it's not just particular individuals that are the only ones making these deep throws. It's that idea that actually, and this is what you have at this level of playing Ultimate, you have so many of the athletes out there have the ability, especially with the breeze at your back, to put a beautiful disc towards the end zone. So actually it's not about having, you know, for that first 2 seconds, just having one player protecting the deep or poaching off. It really is a full stretch attempt. So we see the Italians now playing their downwind offense. Nice move through. Ruscello with the moment of pause with a pick downfield. Chantran with the matchup. The wind slightly abating, but the defense very much not. Big flying mark. Oh, that's a really lovely idea, but Fantini just running out of steam.
Yeah, he was, I like the idea too. The throw was pretty good. In this wind, it missed by less than a foot, but that foot is what's causing them these turnovers. It is the difference right now. Tchac are hitting those shots. Tchac are on the long shots, and Cotarica missing by a half a foot. A foot. As good as that throw was, that was not a horrible option. As a coach, I don't mind a player taking that throw, but they're not hitting it right now, and that is the difference on the score line.
You can just see the gentle out open side getting themselves warmed up for their game next up on this play field. Just it, popping it back. A little bit of clustering towards that far side, which makes it difficult for the handlers to escape, but nice up line. And there is the continuation, the layout, making it smooth and easy. Some of the Italians are going to call that one out of bounds. Difficult angle for us on this particular part of the pitch. Steph, what do you think?
I think I need to see it again. You're right. Difficult. I think difficult angle from where we are on this side of the pitch. Let's have another look.
Well, yeah, there you go. That was when we were talking about the difficulty, because they're quite compressed on that far sideline for the handlers to really get themselves open. They don't have the space to move around in the same fashion. Oh, that right knee makes contact from my eyes as the first point.
Yeah. I don't know. Right wrist and right knee were pretty close to one another. It is speculative. I would say that was in, but we don't have a very clear shot of the line. I'm basing it more on depth perception of where the throw came from. But yeah,
well, the resolution on the pitch is that it's a turnover,
which I think is a very fair resolution.
The players on that sideline definitely had a better view than we did. That is for certain. So, Cotarica Grandes with the disc back and an opportunity. Silvestrini this time is going to go for the goal. Much better weighted into the hands of Fabri. Oh, and there's a cheeky biscuit, and it's going to pay dividends. Andrea Vandini hitting the soft side, and that throw could have gone all kinds of wrong, Steph, but yeah. I'm really happy it works.
Fabri's showing some serious confidence with a high release flick with an outside in edge on it in this kind of condition, but he did it without thought, without setting it up. And it was quite effective. It was very, very effective, in fact. I love to see the no hesitation when these players, especially the young ones, they get an idea like that, gosh, I don't know if, you talk about as a coach, the huck option before. As a coach, if I see him setting up for that, no, Mom, please don't throw that. Please don't throw that. But it was thrown well, effective. I will say, I talk about these young players. Oh, they're all young whippersnappers. But the truth is the throwing regiments and the throwing range that throwers now have compared to throwers 10 years ago and 10 years before that, like they get the high release stuff, the offhand stuff, the low release, everything, the throwing range, they have so much more control than I ever would have imagined was going to be possible in the game.
Oh yes, the future is bright and it is absolutely terrifying, Steph. I'm quite happy to be a solid decade older than many of the athletes out here on this pitch in front of us.
Yeah, and I'm a decade or more older than you, Hanny, so...
We won't talk about that, Steph.
Somebody give me my walker.
Sign this man up for great grandmasters. No, we're not quite there yet, but Tchac flying around Forget. This time doesn't launch on the first thought, waits for Cotti. Two of them just keeping things nice and simple. Benvenien calls the foul.
I think he almost stepped into that one on his own accord. I think he saw the defense coming and stepped in. There was an interesting foul call, that one, to me.
And a violation up the field. Players getting a little bit too hasty to move out the blocks. Benvenien seeking opportunities. Off he goes to the races. Gonna have to just about make that one. Oh, that must have put a little bit of a fear in from that behind player making the layout bid.
Yeah, that left hand just snatches it out of the sky. Bid coming. And if he waited and tried to play catch up and didn't get it then, that would have been layout deed. So good on Benvenien for getting the go-go gadget arm out there and scooping it up or going for that catch at its most immediate point of catching. And it paid dividends. He got the goal.
Yeah, I think if he had, as you say, tried to turn his body to the left and actually just play catch up for the safer clap catch, that could have ended a very different manner. But also respect to the Cotarica Grandes player from behind who you know, shot that arm out rather than, again, also trying to run all the way through.
So 10-6. Remember at the start we talked about the predicted algorithm output was 10 or 15-10.
Yep.
Still very possible to see that score line. 11 minutes to go. Are we going to get that many? Are we going to get 9 more goals?
Depends how much of a fight that Cotarica Grandes put up in the latter stage of this game, Stefan. I mean, we could easily see, you know, trading out. You do have to finish and put that last point on the board to win any game of Ultimate, except where there are formats where there is a harder cap.
Strange rules at some tournaments. Strange.
Well,
rules.
you have to finish
accommodating
games.
rules.
You have to finish games eventually. You can't play forever.
Ruscello lets that one bounce off and become a turnover.
Indeed. Roger getting us underway to Ruel. Really lovely visual communication between this Tchac players. The eye contact that they make just really eliminates any uncertainty and doubt. Oh, that's going to be quite the ambitious put.
The thought of the greatest, but I think he knew that the amount of grip he had, how vertical his hand was, he wasn't going to get enough wrist movement on that.
You got to go for it though, and a nice ankle level catch for Bugarelli. Definitely a double team mark. Just the clear flash directly in front. Bit of naughtiness from Antoine Liron. But players underneath it, but it's going to sail out of bounds. Bugarelli was indeed the deepest player, so a good opportunity, but just too much gas.
All gas, no brakes. Somebody should make a show out of that.
I think they did, Steph.
Oh, yeah, right. So 10-6, just about 9 minutes remaining before we're going to hear the cap.
Indeed.
And Tchac asserting some dominance here.
Bit of hesitation. Ruel has a receiver. Oh, that's fighting against the wind, though, and it's taken away. Great eyes from Alberto Tonelli. I liked the move from Rochella, but they choose not to take it. This time, nope. Once again, not the option. Bugarelli. Through to Fantini. Now the pace of the offense starts to increase as the pitch compresses. A little bit too much hanging out in the lanes denies that shot to goal. Not even the fake of the hammer, just a little bit of a jerking movement. But Bugarelli on the far side now. Again, the releases on some of these passes between the handlers quite high, but enough wrist snap to make sure they fly true. Fantini requesting a shot underneath to try and open up that space deep, but the frustration getting the better of this Italian side.
Yeah, Fantini there, exactly like you said, showing his frustration, wanted something, anything coming back towards him, or even in his dump space, those things were not available. He threw that, you know, a throw that effectively goes over the center stripe, maybe where a stack would be, and it goes away, but in frustration, and timeout called for Tchac after the turnover.
Yeah, we're going to take a brief break in our booth, so grab yourself a refreshment and see how this one will pan out with just under 7 minutes remaining between these two teams.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
The very late.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
Back in play after the timeout being taken. Roger fakes off that big put against this blustery breeze. Centres instead. King a touch lost. Oh, that one's in the floor though. The left hand of Antoine Liron betrays. And that's going to be wow, almost thrown to the opponent. Just a dead stop in the end zone. You could see the little bit of footwork, the chopping to slow down. Miscommunication. Fabre thought that one was going to go for goal.
Love that replay there, the dedication on the defensive bid, no matter what, even though there was such a low potential to score. It's still throwing bodies on the line, sacrificing the body, everything for the play.
So back to work, go Tchac. No idea what that item is on the line, but there is a turnover and a spike at long last. Cotarica Grandes punch in that downwind goal, and it's Alberto Tonelli that gets it.
Yeah, a short field benefit, a double turnover there to get it back off of the mishap here. Liron's errant throw and goes straight back in for Cotarica to have their first little pulses of you know, real belief that they're going to win. You see a legitimate fist pump out of Fantini, the spike out of Tonelli. I think this is the first real bit of momentum we've seen from Cotarica since the early trading.
We're pulsing, we're toning, ladies. We're pulsing. Well, it might be a little bit too late. The scoreline to grind back in the very latter stages of this matchup between these two teams. Of course, this one counting for the EUCS points mean prizes section. See again some of the throwing errors now in the latter stages for Tchac. And that's the second one in a row, actually, for Antoine Liron. He's 2 turnovers for 2 touches. The previous lefty flick went into the dirt. But downwind offense now for the Frenchman. But that's going to be a stone-cold drop off of Razou. An opportunity here now, Balducci. Oh, but that one's going to be tipped as well. Great effort from Soldati. Solidarity from the Italian man. Put the disc back in Tchac's hands. Habitat. That one ripped out of the sky, but unfortunately ground strip for Razou this time. Man just can't quite do enough. Now inside. Paradisi sets off to the races. But His teammates trying to be a bit more conservative. Oh, love that air bounce around backhand break. Balducci through to Paradisi. There is that upline available just about. And time now expiring. This would be a huge break for Cotarica Grandes. Balducci.
Ooh.
So soft and silky. Like a nightwear slip. Now back around. Conservatism. Can Fantini prevent the frustration? Oh, that one. Balducci now, as everyone sort of stumbles around, slipping and sliding on the soft grass. Oh, that's quite the creative option, but beautiful work. Soldati solid solo on that back cone, and that is a much needed break in the very late stages. 10-8 now.
Creative throws like that are going to make receivers look even more open than they ever were. Bellafiore, here's another look back to Balducci before he delivers. There is the blade, a bit more of an indoor throw, but defense totally beaten if you can go over the top, and he's done that. 8-10, I mean, it's going to be a game to 11 now. The sweet, sweet sounds of Fleetwood Mac, Tell Me Lies, Tell Me Sweet Little Lies. Okay, that's the jingle. I just get excited every time I talk about it. They just went during that last point. +1. So it's a game to 11. Of course, the way Cotarica had gone in the middle of the game, believing that they're going to string together 3 breaks, 3 in a row, and take this one, seemed very improbable. The way they played in the latter stages, who knows? Yes, advantage Tchac. Big time, especially receiving after the time cap. One chance to, the very first possession is going to be an offensive opportunity to win the game. But you never, ever know. And I do think Cotarica has just enough positive momentum right now to at least convince themselves that there's something worth believing in here.
Oh, certainly, Stefan. And also, even though they haven't been connecting on some of their downwind hucks of Cotarica Grandes, they do have the wind at their back. So playing a game of possession, as we see an absolute sensational pull, just end up out of bounds.
And the one last thing, playing for every point, EUCS ranking here. Win or lose, just keep it as close as possible.
Yep. Cotti air bouncing into Forget. Brazo. This time getting the connections right. Back to Cotti. You can see the speed on some of these players really is just, they go where they like. Just about them getting the timing right. Cotti now. Oh, a little bit of a bounce off of the shoulders. An immediate switch off. Oh, that could be good, you know. It is a lovely throw against the wind that had just dropped off and off. And Thomas Lelièvre finishes off this game 11 to Tchac and 8 to Cotarica. So the almighty algorithm for a 60-minute game, Steph, not that far off.
Not too far off at all. Great finishing touches by Nimo Corti, a second-generation player. His father we saw playing in Sardinia last year at the Great Grand Masters. A beautiful leading throw to Lièvre and a beautiful way to finish off a game that was just very, very well played by Tchac from beginning to end. So congratulations to them on their victory here at Tom's.
Absolutely, they really did do damage in the second half of the match, just pulled ahead and in front. But hats off to Cotarica Grandes, a team certainly to watch out for in the later stages of this tournament, see how far they can go here in the first division. But thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed this game, we'll be bringing you plenty more for the rest of the weekend. In fact, I think we've got a pretty good matchup coming up next. It's the Czech Open team versus Gentle Open for the Open 1 division in a second time. So for myself, Hannah Pendlebury, for Stefan Rapazzo, don't get anywhere, folks. Tom's Tourney 2024 continues.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV. Say anything.